Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Frank Mularcik, and in this video we're going to be doing a brief stock analysis on Air Products and Chemical stock, ticker symbol APD. And this company is actually in the materials sector, which is pretty cool, I think, because not many people seem to invest in materials companies, and at least people that I talk to. Certainly there's a fair amount of people that invest in them because they're in the one of the sectors in the S&P 500, and they want their portfolios to have a similar allocation to that. But a lot of people just seem to leave that out of their portfolio as well, which I think is interesting. So this one is in my portfolio, and I just wanted to cover it and give you guys a little brief overview. So we're going to start off here on the investor relations page. They have a little nice write-up here. They say Air Products develops solutions to help meet the world's energy, environmental, and productivity needs. Our products help improve the environment and improve our customers' production processes. We provide essential industrial gases, related equipment, and applications expertise to customers in dozens of industries, including refining, chemical, metal, electronics, manufacturing, and food and beverage. We're also the global leader in the supply of liquefied natural gas, process technology, and equipment. And right off the bat, the one thing that stands out to me about that, and probably a fair bit of people, is the leader in liquefied natural gas, because I know that's definitely becoming sort of a popular thing. Like a lot of city buses and things like that are starting to transition to being run on liquefied natural gas, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty cool, I think. And obviously I would like to profit from that. And we're also just going to look at their recent results. They released their fiscal year second quarter results on May 10th, I believe. And this is their second quarter because their fiscal year basically runs from the beginning of October. It starts in October, so their first quarter is October through the end of December, and then their second quarter would have been January through the end of March. So they released those results a few days ago on May 10th, and they just list some comparisons for the prior year. So GAAP EPS was $2.13, which was down 4%, and then GAAP net income was $477 million, down 3%. GAAP net income margin of 19.1%, which was down 300 basis points. And it says these results include an estimated 10 to 15 cents per share negative impact from COVID-19. And they also talk about the adjusted EPS, which is $2.08, which was up 2% year over year, and adjusted EBITDA margin was 37.3%, which was also down 300 basis points, and that also had that 10 to 15 cents there. And then also just go over some of the highlights, talking about their different units in Arizona. They said they brought on stream their 6th air separation unit in Arizona and a cryogenic nitrogen plant in northern Malaysia. And they talk about extending their gasification leadership by acquiring a 50% equity stake in a technology joint venture in China. So that's pretty cool. And it also says they signed a long-term virtual power purchase agreement in Poland, and they were named the top climate-aligned company on Barron's 2021 ranking of the most sustainable companies in America. So that's pretty cool, and I think that's one of the big things that I feel like people are just missing with APD, is that they're sort of in this chemical gas space, which is at one angle is sort of under a lot of pressure from the climate problem, I guess, and then from the other angle they're sort of like pivoting and taking advantage of that and sort of profiting off that, which is super awesome to be a part of. So overall, the quarter, nothing special as far as hard results go. It was a little bit less than last year, but I think that's not a big deal. They give some guidance for fiscal year 2021. They estimate $8.95 to $9.10, which would be up about 7 to 9% from last year. And then they also predict the third quarter adjusted EPS of $2.30 to $2.40, which would be up 14 to 19% over last year. So it's good to see that they're growing there year over year, or at least expect to grow a lot. But at the same time, you have to consider they probably dropped off some last year, so they're just kind of rebounding. But it is nice to see that they are rebounding, because some businesses probably still are not. And just looking at the balance sheet real quick, the total current assets around $8.5 billion, which is up about $4 billion from last year. And then total current liabilities, they're really killing this one, only around $2.5 billion, which is up a little bit over last year. But I mean, they just have way more current assets than those liabilities, so that's awesome. That's just super healthy to see. And then their total assets there around $25 billion, up substantially from last year as well, which I just like to see. And this, by the way, is the 10K report, so it was put out at the end of their fiscal year 2020, which would have been September 30th of 2020, or at least that's when these numbers are as of, is September 30th 2020. And they also have this nice little stock price chart here on their website, so I figured I'd just show it. And you can see right now they're right around $300. They just passed $300 on Friday, I believe. So that's pretty cool, but overall they've just been kind of bouncing around here. They definitely passed above 300 a little bit back in September, November range, but aside from that, 300 is pretty close to the all-time high for the stock. I actually got pretty lucky. I started buying in back here right in June and July when I first started, and then literally right after that they just exploded there for a little bit, which was pretty exciting to see, but haven't had as good buying opportunities recently. And just looking at the dividend real quick, their yield is around 2%, which some people would say is pretty low, but I think the yield has definitely been increasing, and we can look at that in a second. So their payout ratio is around 65%, which is pretty healthy. I would say that's right in that healthy range. Nothing too crazy low or high. They've been growing the dividend around 38 years, so they are an aristocrat. That's awesome to see. And they have dividend growth rate for the past 5 years around 12.66%, and I think this past year they increased it 11 or 12% a few months ago, so that was exciting to see. And also, I really like to look at macro trends here, to look at the PE charts basically over time here. So if we look on this bottom chart here, you can basically see that over the past 10-15 years, at least for a lot of the 2010s, they were trading around 12 to 14, 15. And then since maybe 2014 or 2015, they've been more in like the 20 range. And more recently they're up above 25, even before the pandemic. So I would say right now probably isn't the best time to buy, and I don't think I really want to buy anymore. We'll look at the materials sector as well. We can see they're definitely in the chemicals industry of the sector. We can see here that the average for the chemicals industry is 27, and it says the average for the whole sector as a whole is 21. And I don't think I showed the exact one, but the current P is 35, so they're significantly above that 27. That's the average for the chemicals industry. And then here's my position in APD. I have about 0.28 shares here. We'll expand that out a little bit, 0.2830. And they are worth, let's see, they're worth about $85 at the moment. This is getting closer to the bigger positions in my portfolio, and that's about 5.8% of the portfolio, so that's pretty cool. And they pay me an annual dividend of $1.70, which for me is a yield on cost of 2.12%, so that's not anything great, but hopefully they will be able to continue raising that dividend a pretty substantial amount, low double digits over the next few years, and we'll get that yield on cost right fixed up and be doing pretty well, I think. So let me know if you guys own Air Products Chemicals stock. I think it has some good balance sheet and financials. I think it has some good dividend history, and I think it just has a lot of potential moving forward. So I would be interested to hear if you guys do own it. I'm not going to be buying at least at these prices, but I would be excited to see a dip in the future. So I also did a video on ExxonMobil stock. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave a link up here and a link in the description below. I would really appreciate that, and just wanted to thank you guys as well for watching to the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.